Alright, multiplying and dividing integers. There's a reason I put these two together, and the reason is because they have the same rules. So it'd be, I think, not smart for me to take 2 days on this when it's super, super simple. Okay, so that's why it's the same rules. You did this last year, you'll remember as soon as I show you. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, division rules. I think I'm going to just show you this. Okay, remember? 2 positives, positive, 2 different signs, negative, 2 different signs, positive. It goes the same thing for division. So I could switch all these out for division and it would be the same thing. So if I have 2 positives, my answer is going to be positive. If I have 2 different signs, my answer is going to be negative. And if I have 2 negatives, my answer is going to be positive. This is where the whole 2 negatives make a positive thing, guys. So this is for multiplying and dividing. Multiplying and dividing. Even though my example is multiplication, you can have division stuff also, and it's still the same way. If you want examples of division, I can put that in there for you. Let's say you want 12. Actually, let's do different numbers. Like if I do 20 divided by 5, that's 4. If I do negative 20 divided by 5, I get negative 4. If I do negative or 20 divided by negative 5, I get negative 4. If I do negative 20 divided by negative 4, I get 5. So it's the exact same stuff. Exactly the same. That's why I put 2 lessons together, because it's the same rules. The same rules. Oh, wait. Just 20. Negative 20. Alright, so then we're just going to do some practice. So you have some examples in your notebook. That's all. Just going to do some practice. You have some examples in your notebook. Okay, so has everybody got your rules written down? We got your rules? Okay. Alright, I'll wait a few more seconds. Okay, you ready? What's the matter? Sorry. I'm going to go on. Alright, so examples. Okay, you'll see a few of these, but this is mostly what you'll see in your homework today are ones that you're multiplying with 3 numbers. Okay, so let's just talk about the 2 numbers first. So like if I'm going to do something like this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the multiplication. Then I'm going to figure out what sign it is. So I know 9 times 2 is 18, but what's my sign? I have a negative and I have positive, so what's my sign going to be? Anybody? Everybody's right, and Ethan? Yep, so negative 18 is how this one's going to go. Here, 5 negative 5 times negative 5, chance? 25. Simple, okay? Very simple. Now it gets to ones over here like this. Now, I don't care what you do. If you have a strategy you want to use, fine. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to go from left to right, fine. But the hardest thing to do is making sure you have the right sign. So I like to go from left to right in this case. So negative 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 times negative 3. I just have a regular 36. If you get a sign wrong in the beginning, guess what? Your sign's going to be wrong in the end. So make sure you're taking time and thinking about what sign it should be. Sure. Sure. No problem. Did you get it? What'd you get? It should be 24. It should be 24. Pretty simple. Okay, so you can handle stuff like that. This thing is just bugging me. Where am I going to put it? Right there. Can I move on? That's because it was cold outside. Okay, so this is the new part to you. This is the new part with simplifying. Okay, so make sure you get these written in your notebook. This is the new part. So notice I have letters in there, and I have numbers, and I have negatives. So remember before when we had ones that looked like this, it was like 4 plus t plus 3, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to make it 4 plus 3 plus t, and then I'm going to put these together. Remember we did those last chapter? Remember that? Yeah. Okay, so time out. So remember we did stuff like this. Okay, so it's going to be the exact same thing, only we're just working with the numbers. So really, I'm going to just multiply these two together. Negative 6 times negative 4, and I get negative 24, and the t is on the end, because I don't know what t is. I don't know what it is, so I can't multiply it, so that's just as far as I can go. Yep. Nope, so like they're going to stay. So like, which one? You want me to do this one or that one? Okay, so really it looks like this. Negative 4 times a times negative 2 times b. I just stretched it out. Okay, that's just how it looks. So I'm multiplying everything together. So I'm going to multiply the numbers that can go together. So that would be 4 and negative 2, negative 2, negative 4. So it would be 8. And then I'm just tacking on the a and the b behind because I don't know what they are. If I knew what they are, then I could multiply them. But for now, this is the answer. Ethan, what were you going to ask? Yep. And usually they always go in alphabetical order. That's just how algebra works. Usually it always just goes in alphabetical order. This one, sure. Notice how this one has a negative b on it. Do you see that one? Anytime that I have a negative with a letter, I can put a negative 1 with it. So I can put a 1 with all these. So I would put a negative 1 in here, so it's negative 1b, so I can get rid of that negative b. If I put a negative 1 with it, I can get rid of that negative. So then, in this case, I would take 3 times negative 1, which would give me negative 3, and then I can tack all my letters on the end. So if you have a negative letter, put a negative 1 in front. Get rid of it, because otherwise it's going to look like this. And we want to make it as simple as possible. So if you put a negative 1 in front and multiply it by that 3, then we don't have a negative b, and we don't got to worry about that negative b anymore. Yeah, it just looks funny. No, so it's not going to look like you had this. Is this what you had? We can take that negative out. Simplifying it means we're going to make everything as simple as possible. So we're going to get rid of that negative b. So if I put a negative 1 in... Yep, still going to put the b in my problem. Yep, the b is always going to stay because I don't know what it is, so I have to. But I'm just going to eliminate that negative by putting a negative 1 in front of it and then multiplying that negative 1 and whatever my whole number was or whatever I have in there. So like another example up here would be this one, up here. Because I have a negative d. If you want, maybe it'd be easier to even just write everything out. Times c times negative 3 times negative 1d. See how I made that a negative 1d? And now I'm going to multiply all my numbers together. So negative 5 times negative 3 would be 15. 15 times negative 1 would be a negative 15. And then I put in my letters also. Okay. We're going to talk about division shortly, and then we're going to be done. What questions do you have about this? Because there's quite a few of these in your homework today. Today, everything can pretty much be done in your head. Okay? As long as you get your signs correct. I mean, then you got to make sure your signs are correct. If you need to write something out, write something out. Okay, so here's division. Here's division. Okay, division follows the same rules. So I'm going to skip to the next one. Okay, I'm going to skip to division quickly. Let's just talk over here, and I want to make sure that I don't have something like this. Okay. Division's the same thing. I'm going to find what my answer is. 72 divided by 9 would be 8, but its 1 is a negative, so negative 8. Okay, same rules as we talked about before. And then like this one, negative 100 divided by negative 5. Well, I know it's going to be 20, and I know it's going to be a positive 20 because it's two negatives. The only tricky part for division is down here. They're going to give you a problem like this, and they're going to tell you what n is. So you have to substitute. So it'll be -3, and then n is -6 divided by -2. So they're going to throw some multiplication in there, just like what we talked about. So then you'll do -3 times -6, which is 18, and then 18 divided by -2, which is -9. So really, they're just throwing everything in there. So kind of another reason why we did multiplication the same day is because you're going to do it anyway in division. Okay, you're going to do it anyway in that problem. In those problems. If you have to substitute, please write the problem out. Please rewrite it out so you can see it. Please. It'll make your life a lot easier. Not maybe today, but maybe like in a few months when we have these big, long things. You're like, no, I don't need to write it out. I never have. Well, start getting in the habit. Gabe? Maybe, but maybe then this would be positive in there. Maybe. It depends. I don't know if they'll do that or not. So like this one. So it'd be negative. This one looked like this. -10. 4 divided by -8. And then make sure you solve top and bottom. What questions do you have for me? Anything? Okay, I think I have one more story problem I need to show you. Finding the average or finding the mean. Okay, so does anybody remember how to find the average of something? Yeah. Right. Yes. Yes. So you got to think about your addition now, because you're going to add all these together: -2, 8, 5, -9, -12, and -2, and then divide by how many numbers there are. So if you need an example in your notebook, this is a good one to put in there. Find the average of -2, 8, 5, -9, -12, -2. So we have to add all those together first. So -2, 8, 5, -9, -12, -2. So you're adding those together first. Now you can use any strategy you want to use. If you're a person that likes to add all the negatives first and the positives and then do that, I don't care what you do. I don't care. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add the positives. Add these. See. 11. I think all the negatives are -25. And 13 plus -25 would be, let's see, -12. Dividing by, how many are there? 1, 2, 6. Should be -2. Is that what you guys got? Yeah. Why -6? Oh, I see. That's really all I have for you today, guys. If you see a story problem, assume one thing in there is going to be negative. You're going to have to look at your keywords. Okay, so like if, let's say, I don't know, you go down -2 feet per minute and you're down there for 10 minutes, how many feet are you going to go down? Well, -2 times 10. So look for something that's going to have to be negative if you have a story problem. Any questions? All right, you got 15 minutes.